Immortals of Aveum is a poster child for the bad habits of modern blockbuster game design. This debut title from developer Ascension Games has everything it needs to be a fantastic shooter, an imaginative concept, dazzling combat, and colossal set pieces. But it clearly lacks confidence in its simple premise and fantasy world, stuffing itself with needless distractions and some obnoxious writing. At its best, Immortals of Aveum can be thoroughly entertaining, but seeing its highs requires tolerating its irritating lows. Dubbing itself a first-person magic shooter, your spell-slinging immortal can wield 3 color-coded types of magic. Blue magic charges your open palm with long-range bolts of energy akin to semi-automatic rifles. Red magic revolves around close range, high-damage spells similar to shotguns and grenade launchers, while green magic unleashes rapid-fire projectiles, much like an SMG or a chain gun. You could argue this represents a missed opportunity to do something weirder with the FPS genre, as there's no reason for the spells to work in this way beyond the comfort of familiarity. Nonetheless, contextualizing the basic arsenal in this manner is a useful shorthand for learning the combat. Moreover, these firearm-like spells aren't the only powers you wield. While your right hand deals damage, your left conjures more manipulative magic, lassoing enemies towards you with a conjured whip, coating them in time-slowing goop, and countering their spells with a disrupting beam of light. You can also unleash a range of more powerful ability spells, like a shockwave that disrupts enemy shields and catapults enemies into the air, and a tasty leaping punch that deals high damage and shreds enemy armor. All of this comes together to form a kinetic, tactile, and surprisingly challenging shooter, particularly in its latter half. Many enemies are just as powerful and mobile as you are, and there are a suite of optional bosses and arena challenges that are supremely difficult to beat. Combat also looks incredible. When the fighting's in full flow, the screen becomes an incendiary kaleidoscope of bolts, beams, sigils, and shockwaves. The use of particle effects is particularly impressive. Credit should also go to Ascension's environment artists, who eke out some thrillingly massive set pieces out of the fantasy setting, including a level where you fight on the inside and outside of a mechanical colossus, although the trade-off for that is an overabundance of levels that take place in caves. The core of Immortals of Aveum is perfectly enjoyable. It's everything around it that causes the problems. To start off with, it takes a long time for the game to find its flow. The opening few hours are far more concerned with introducing the world and story than delivering a fun FPS experience. The opening quarter of the game is a whistle-stop tour of your rise from overgrown urchin who lives in a slum through to frontline soldier in a conflict known as the Everwar. As fantasy worlds go, it isn't breathtakingly original, but it is well represented. And I like that its conflict isn't a typical good versus evil affair either. Neither side really remembers what it's fighting for, and both are trapped in a cycle of justifying committing atrocities because of atrocities committed by the other side. The problem is how the story is delivered. It constantly interrupts the flow of the action with lengthy cutscenes and superfluous branching dialogue conversations that often take place right after cutscenes. It's all highly inelegant, and within it the game struggles to find its rhythm. This approach might be more successful if the writing sold you on the world better. Unfortunately, the script is riddled with ironical banter that is profoundly unfunny, making it challenging to really immerse yourself in the story. What's most frustrating about this game is when it does take itself seriously, the writing's fine. Jack works as a young, headstrong protagonist, and the villain is a suitably charismatic bastard. There are some good vocal performances here too, when the actors aren't forced to spout the same tired blend of CT Marvel movie humour we've all got used to. It suggests a fear of being earnest, and sadly that fear isn't limited to the writing. All of this serves to dilute and distract from what Immortals of Aveum does best, namely colourful, imaginative first-person spellcasting in colossal fantasy environments. It's a stark demonstration of what a lack of confidence in your core vision can do. There is a good shooter in Immortals of Aveum, maybe even a great one, but you'll have to do some digging to find it. We give it 3 stars out of 5.
Sigil up.